that final tailoring and the human element that an AI will not be able to replace. And fourth, what an AI can help you enhance is think about ideas, right? So it can give you more options of an idea. However, the root idea again becomes yours. So point I'm trying to make is that AI helps you, but it also helps you enhance your current role. So it can automate a few things and it can help you enhance a few, enhance how you do your regular job as well, right? Now, one thing, today when we actually interviewed 400 business leaders, right? The number is between 400 and 450. I think it's 420 exactly to be precise. What we observed is essentially there are two elements to it. There are the human skills that we need to kind of refine, and then there are the tech complementary skills which we need to build, right? So some of the human skills we already have. The tech complementary skills is where we really need to understand how do we build ourselves, because remember what I said, the 40% of our role, again, that number, let's not get stuck on that, that part of our role, which is repetitive, there we will have to understand how we can use AI to do that. That's the expectation from a business leader today, right? And that is fact. Saying that if there is an automatable part of your task, you need to think about how you can use AI to help speed that up. Now, for that, there are skills where you need to fundamentally build your digital literacy. So we will speak about a couple of case studies of clients that we have seen out there who have actually taken up this journey, where they have built the digital literacy of their cohorts, their senior leadership cohort, their mid leadership cohort, where they have built their data literacy. They have actually taught their leaders how to talk to an AI. How do you do analytical thinking at scale, right? How do you actually now think of what an AI workflow design is, right? That's a very important skill. If you tell me the three fundamental skills from an AI perspective on the right hand side are 2, 4, and 5. Basically, how to engineer a prompt, which is how do you talk to an AI. Number 4 skill on the right hand side, how do you think of an end-to-end AI workflow, right? What can AI do? That is very important, because that's when you can start thinking, saying, hey, how can I apply this to my business or my 40% of repetitive tasks that I go through. And the fourth one is essentially, how do I automate multiple things? So for that, first you need to understand what an AI can automate or cannot do. So a lot of myths that when I spoke to CXO minus ones, they also ask us that, oh, really, AI can do this? AI cannot do this. Oh, I thought AI could do this, right? And a lot of time goes in first demystifying what an AI can do. But once you know that, then when you merge that knowledge of AI capability, of what an AI can do, with the knowledge of what an AI workflow looks like, with the knowledge of how do you talk to an AI, gives you a very great platform or a broad platform to actually work with your tech leaders in your company, saying, hey, now I need this for myself, right? So that is super important from a business leader's perspective. So what we have seen, right? Essentially, it is three parts. First, as I said, we need to demystify, build awareness, right? Now, just going through demystification and awareness doesn't help, right? So I'll quote my own father. My father taught me when I was growing up, swimming cannot be learned on television. You cannot learn swimming. You have to get into the water. So basically, it's learning by doing. So what we have seen is when you get business leaders to actually build some small AI elements by themselves, that translates into a lot of confidence for them to take decisions, because now they know, saying, hey, look, okay, I know I built this. Now, although it was a small element, but that visualization of how things are built, that learning by doing, which we all understand is very important, but as we grow senior, we do less and less of it. That's the secret sauce, right? So the second element, capability, is the secret sauce to how do you as a business leader reduce your FOBO emotion, right? So I'll just quickly walk through at a high level how three of the folks that we have seen and we have worked with Mahindra and RPG and Hindware at some level. Mahindra and RPG we work deeply with, but we have actually seen this, right? And when we say worked with, there have been 300 plus business leaders who have gone through this FOBO. I mean, although it wasn't called FOBO, it was called increasing the digital savviness of their leadership. What we've seen is fundamentally the reduction in FOBO was high, their demystification was high, their awareness of how to now build a solution was very high. And not only that, they were also able to go back to their technology teams and their business leaders and saying, now I think these are my top 3 AI interventions that I require, right? And this is common across. And the way while there are challenges of how do you scale this up, there are also interventions where companies have thought of how do I deliver small learning nuggets for my employees, right? So there are also innovative methods like that are being explored. Uh, I'll also say, for example, Mahindra and RPG, for example, has done a very interesting, without getting into much of details, they've actually created an initiative to build AI champions across the group, right? Those are the business leaders who will now drive AI use cases. Now, for that, they put a lot of R&R, rewards and recognition around it, made it a really attractive uh, made it a very attractive proposition. But that doesn't mean they ignored everybody. So they gave a level 1 program to everybody, which ensured that all my cross-cutting business folks, right, managerial and above, are aware of what AI does, right? Then they filtered and filtered and filtered, took them across multiple levels, and then identified in each business function at least 1 to 2 AI champions across multiple group companies. So that's a huge cohort, right? So they were able to do that. Now the question is, it's a journey that they took on, and they recognized it fairly early, right? Mahindra recognized it 2 years ago. RPG recognized it 2 years ago, saying that, okay, we need to focus on our leaders to increase their digital savviness, right? They worked on that. That was supremely important. And now they are actually seeing a lot of results where both are implementing at least 100 plus AI use cases, right? Not getting into details without sharing some confidential information, but they are doing 100 plus AI use cases. And it's all driven by the same business leaders whom 2 years ago had zero idea of what AI was, right? Zero. And I'm using the word zero a little loosely, but a very low digital savvy index, right? So that was supremely important, right? Hindware themselves have done very, very great work on the AI front. And also they are essentially doing a lot of work on the manufacturing AI as well, right? So anyway, so those are essentially, these are, what I was trying to drive at is that it's not just a theoretical conversation anymore, right? While we are having a theoretical discussion, but this slide essentially says that there are companies thinking about this aggressively. When we work with consulting companies, their clients come and ask the consulting companies that I work with, okay, you're going to do this business transformation for me. I want to build my AI capability. What does it take, right? And it all drives to the same thing. How do you do that? So here's the broad question. While I've answered it from, I'll just quickly structurally go through what or how organizations can beat FOBO. Essentially, first, you need to create very clear AI learning journeys, right? Saying that if I am an HR leader, or I'm a mid manager in finance, or I'm a manager in manufacturing, for me, how do I go through? I mean, of course, this has to be for larger organizations, it has to be designed by L&D, the learning and development. But how do I do it, right? So there are a few fundamental programs you can think about, which will teach, at least give you an awareness of what AI does. But essentially, you will have to create a structured AI pathway in your organization, right? Number two, as I said, swimming cannot be learnt on television. There has to be access to simulation platforms. And when I say simulation platforms, it's not Chat GPT or Gemini. These are bespoke simulation platforms where if a business leader wants to learn, can an AI do data analytics for me? The business leader should have a platform where they first see what an AI cannot do and then what an AI can do, right? So that is and that is exactly what takes us into point number three, that it has to be safe to fail. So the learning environment should be saying that, okay, I can make a mistake, but now how do I improve that mistake? So that's very tailored to an organization, and it's very important, and we have seen that it works. And of course, we have to evaluate our capability matrix, right? How, for example, one of the things we evaluate or we evaluated is the number of use cases. What is the rupee crore value of each use case, right? Some companies go up to measuring that. So there is a clear ROI number against it. And number five is actually number one, right? Essentially, first at leadership, you need to think, okay, I am going to make AI core to my culture, right? That I have to think about AI. The goal is not that everything is going to be replaced by AI. The goal is that AI should be a part of our DNA to ensure we are improving productivity, not that we are replacing people, right? So essentially, what I just want to summarize, right? It's normal to feel the FOBO as an emotion, which is fear of being obsolete, right? Number two, the skills that we develop are going to be the differentiator, right? Those skills, as I said, what we've developed, and essentially those will really define our path towards our next 10 years as a business leader, right? And as I said, AI enhances, it doesn't replace. So you need to identify that 40-50% of your work, which is automatable, and then how you can use AI, which is repetitive, I'm sorry, which can be automated, right? The fourth element is essentially to do that, you will have to go through hands-on learning, right? It cannot just be theoretical, right? And as a business leader in your teams, you will have to invest in capability building. The names that I took in the previous slides have all invested, right? They've taken that as a mandate, saying that now I need to invest in AI capability building, right? Just doing online programs won't work. Some of them have to be in class, some of them have to be online, right? So that said, I will essentially like to kind of close our at least my discussion today from my side, and we should open it up for questions, right? Is essentially, if you have anything from a perspective of transforming your workforce, happy to give you some case studies. So if you register, we will give you a detailed case study of how one of our customers went end to end. What was the program that they designed for their business leaders, right from an operation level? So there was an O&M band, operations and management. How did they go through it? What was the structure that they designed, right? Without naming the client, but we have got permission to build a case study around it. And how did they come up with various use cases? So just to give you a number, the total value of the AI use cases that the participants were able to propose after the program was more than 100 crores, right, in that company. So we will share that case study with you, as Runa mentioned. If you share your email addresses, happy to share that with you. And I'll open it up for questions now.
Hi, Jonathan. I'm Shweta.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. I just have a question. Basically, all of these bigger organizations BCG and Google, Microsoft, even like IBM, they had laid off a lot of HR professionals. And currently, when I am actively looking for a job, I see that a lot of HR openings are popping up. But
Right.
the main ask is that they want AI based certification or AI based skills. So, is it like, for example, if we want to enhance a resume to increase our chances of getting hired in such an organization which is AI savvy. So what are the main skills we in our resume?
I think the last part. Am I still audible, folks?
You are audible. I think the
The
essence of
last
the
part of
question are
yeah,
skills.
I got it, Shweta, right? So Shweta, I'll answer, and I'll break my answer into two parts, right? Number
Right.
one, uh, so honestly, these word certifications, while they are important, right? That uh, piece of paper is only as important as the knowledge that backs it up, right? So a PhD degree can be 1 foot by 1 foot, or my PhD degree is this much, right? So the point is now the skills that we need to build, which is the second part. Now the skills that you need to build are, I would say the top three, four skills are as follows. Number one, how to prompt an AI fundamentally, right? That's a skill which is now become dal roti, bread and butter,
Hmm.
right? It's no more in the dessert category, right? If you asked me 2 years ago, it was in the dessert category. The the
Hmm.
second the second key important skill here is basically for as an HR professional, right? For you, what are the top eight use cases which you should be able to very clearly explain that AI can help here? For example, as I took as a talent in talent acquisition, right? AI can help automate the creation of JDs, bespoke JDs. AI can help automate the first stage of candidate outreach. AI can help automate the first stage of candidate filtering. Point I'm trying to make
Right.
is understanding how AI can help create business value in that business function, right? That's the first part. So that's the second skill, knowing where AI can be applied. And that has to be done through hands-on. That cannot be just done theoretically, right? So because what will happen is when people, up till second, anybody will say, "Arey, you just opened Chat GPT and you answered this question," right? To be very frank. But when you've done a hands-on experiment, you can actually say what will it take to make that use case succeed. And that third element, a Chat GPT will never be able to theoretically or give you a very clean answer there, right? So the third element is the hands-on. So the skills you need to build are prompt engineering. Second is use case applicability of AI for your business function, which is HR. And
Hmm.
of course, there will be a sub business function in HR or sub function in HR. And those use cases, some of which you should have simulated practically. And the fourth fundamental use case is understanding ROI of, like, what does it take to build that, right? From a cost perspective. If these are the four fundamental things you're able to say that, okay, and if you're able to do that in your current organization, nothing like it, right? That kind of adds, saying you built, if you were part of a project, then that will be supremely, it adds a lot of value. Saying, I have these skills, now I've applied them in my current organizations. That's how
Correct.
I advise any of, the professionals who are looking to move. I mean, of course, but these are the four things that I say this is super important that you need to work on.
Sure. Sure. I think you've broken it out very well. I sort of did have a nudge in the back of my mind that I had to do this, but I think putting it into perspective and making it more clearer is something that I needed. Thank you so much for this guidance.
My pleasure, ma'am.
Yeah.
Any further question? Would The live questions are much interesting and enthuses us. We do have a couple of questions on the chat. We have experts also. We can have conversation with very senior, people who have joined us. So I encourage you to also give your perspective and have a dialogue with JJ today. Anything from Kanika? Lovely to see you, Kanika Tandon. Yes, please, Supriya. Please ask question.
Hi, Runa. This is Srini. Can I go ahead and ask the question?
Yes, Shrini, please.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Jonathan. It's a very interesting session. As you rightly said, AI usage, as you rightly said, a couple of years ago, it used to be dessert. Now it has become a bread and butter, which is absolutely right. But having said that, I've seen a lot of tag professionals, especially the first phase of the organization, still hooking onto the, Naukri and the typical LinkedIn. They continue to, go in a very manual way, despite knowing that AI and all. Even I see this happening in MNCs also. They're still not able to get out of this traditional way of a screening, calling, and the transition to object way of, getting the screening is not happening at the pace at which should have been done. Could you tell me what is it? Is it because of the leadership or the cultural thing that is actually hindering them?
So, Srini sir, I will break the cause into a few parts, right? And it's not one reason that is triggering, right? Number
Hmm.
one, uh, as you correctly mentioned, there is no top-down push to explore AI, right? And
Hmm.
and as you are aware, humans, us, are inertial animals, right? Until we are
Okay.
not pushed by any external or internal force, we don't move, right?
Hmm.
So that AI first mindset is not there. So people have not gone ahead and explored, right? And I'll
Hmm.
answer your question with an exact use case. Yesterday, I was on a flight from Chennai to
Hmm.
Bombay, and I'll tell you exactly the scenario, right? What call I
Hmm.
got, which is exactly what you had mentioned. And it's interesting
Hmm.
how people in a span of 12 hours have asked me the same question, right? Uh,
Hmm.
but I'll answer the reasons first. The first is top-down push. The number
Hmm.
two thing is the fundamental lack of awareness. I don't even know in this entire talent acquisition journey what can AI do, right? What all can AI really automate for me? For example,
Absolutely. Hmm.
that I would say that, for example, today AI can send emails, receive emails, read emails, shortlist, have conversations with a candidate in the background without the manager even having to see, right? Now, that essentially is an awareness, right? So first is top-down push, second is awareness. The third for organization again is appetite for investment, right? Because
Hmm.
see, going through a seismic shift. It's like when you're setting up a plant, you need to set up, or you're revamping a plant, right? There is a capex
Hmm.
infrastructure investment to it, right? So
Hmm.
that is fundamentally the three reasons I have seen. Now, for example, I'm in active conversations with a large steel manufacturing company, right? When the L&D head was talking to me, he was, a little lukewarm. But the minute the MD said, "Ki, nahi, you have to do this," like everything just went upside down, right? So that they said, then the force went at 2x. So so I hope I've answered those three reasons. Now I'll just take 30 seconds to tell you, for example, yesterday on the flight that I was, one partner at a large consulting company calls me up. I was in the aircraft and they call me JJ lovingly in the consulting word. So they said, "JJ, I have a question for you. Today, when I am doing any business transformation in any company, I need to hire at least 100 candidates who in a particular uh, in a particular function. So for
Hmm.
that, I have to source 1,000 resumes. I have to go find them. What is the level of automation that we can offer to this client, right?" That was exactly the question that you had asked, right? Saying people don't know. So even partners at a few consulting
Absolutely.
companies are
Absolutely.
not fully aware. So it's a three-part reason. Top-down push is not
Hmm.
there, lack of awareness, and appetite for investment, right? Those are the three main reasons, sir.
Absolutely. I just said 30 seconds. What you said, that's a top-down push, especially whenever you try to drive any change, especially the tag change, right? You said screening and everything, sending the mails. A lot of things, background check can be done by the time the reject report can be ready by the time company and the onboarding happens. A lot of things happen. But what fundamentally even we HR people face is uh, the management's ability to buy is something actually is not happening. That is the one. That's where a lot of energy, PPTs, discussions goes in the boardroom goes into the waste. JJ.
So what the large companies have done here, Srini sir, is that first cohort that they train is the senior
Mm-hmm.
leadership. They don't train
Mm-hmm.
mid management first, right? So
Mm-hmm.
of as I said, of the bulk of our training programs at
Mm-hmm.
Mahindra are VP and above, or department head and above, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are focusing on getting their senior cohort trained, because then, see, you can't have a mid manager getting trained and then you have your CXO, right? Not when he goes and proposes an idea to the CXO saying, "Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about," right? They are not going to speak the same language. So the top down push only comes from top down awareness. So first thing is to invest in senior leadership cohort programs, and then it's super important that we address them first. Then that top-down push comes, because only when they see, oh, this is what happens, right? So there are multiple examples I can take, right? But that is fundamentally where we need to start. In the first intervention is at the top from a learning perspective.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks, Vijay. Let somebody ask the question for the interest of the time. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
Um, I
Yeah.
Hi, Jonathan. This is Supriya here. Hope you
Hi.
remember me. It was
Yes.
very insightful to listen to you. Uh, my question is that I recently uh, had my resume screened by a very popular company in Pune. So what they did was they basically used a chat bot. And so technically nobody spoke to me. So the challenge here was I didn't even get a chance to speak to the recruiter as to what I was really looking for. So as I was just speaking to a chatbot, they got my data, they processed it. So I feel that at some point you need more of human touch also. I mean, you cannot automate everything. So in some cases, you need to talk to somebody to put your point across as to what you're really looking for in a job and what not. What is your point of view?
So I'll put it in two parts. Number one, is AI automation perfect today? Answer is an absolute no, right? But do we have to embark on a journey of AI automation? Answer is yes. Now that's number one. But you asked an interesting question on the receiving side of an AI, right? Not on the implementing side of an AI. Now there essentially, we have seen this happen with a lot of good candidates, right? Saying that because, so the use case essentially should be, and I think what the problem you faced is a classic case of a badly implemented chatbot, honestly, with not good guardrails, where what we have seen for other companies, chatbots being built, is if the AI screens it and the candidate is asking interesting questions, the AI flags that candidate to the hiring manager, and the hiring manager comes back to the candidate, right? So that loop closing, I clearly see was missing in that chatbot, which we have seen works for other companies. But to answer your question, that this today AI is not perfect, but we will still have to uh, embark on that journey. Now I'm coming from the implementation side. I've answered on the receiving side of things. On the implementation side, this is super important for us to understand, right? And AI is a journey, right? No AI use case gets implemented in 2 months, 3 months. If any vendor can show you a POC in 15 days, do not get excited. POCs are very easy to build in AI, but implementing stable solutions are minimums 5 to 6 month journeys, right? So please take that statistic also back with you from personal experience of burning my hands across 20 different companies. Don't get excited by a POC. That's only great for the first few. Don't fall in love at first sight, but also think that it's a journey. Hope, Supriya, I answered your part of the question. I've added a few more flavors to it.
Yeah. Thanks, John. You did answer my question. Thanks so much. And it was really insightful. And I faced that FOBO actually because I took a career break. So my journey in AI was something else, and now it has reached somewhere else. So I had to pick up on a lot of things. So thank you so much, John.
I'm learning every day today. Trust me.
Thank you, Supriya.
I know it's the same with everyone. Yeah.
Thank you,
All right. I
Supriya.
would love to connect with you sometime in Mumbai, John.
Sure.
So
Runa,
sorry.
I just have one question. I'm sorry. I am taking the
Good.
podium again. Yeah, but this question is quite important because I think, John is coming from a consulting background. And, I just saw your profile, John, quite impressive and very much inspired. Just one question. I have a friend working in EY Parthenon. And, their partner, as you said, you also speak to a lot of partners. They said to them and give them, early trigger warnings a lot that they might lose their job because AI
Who?
can do
For
massive
consultants will
research.
lose their job.
Yes,
Okay.
these senior consultants and all, they'll lose their job because more of the research or, the business decks and everything which is proposed is being taken care by AI to quite an extent.
See, let
So,
me, yeah, I'll answer that question. Sorry, I don't mean to, I mean, I work with the really, really top honchos at McKinsey as well, right? And
G,
so I'll tell you what the thinking is. I'll keep it very sharp, very simple.
bilkul.
See, AI is not So again, as I said, wherever your job doesn't require you to think and doesn't require you to use your business experience, you are a prime candidate for being replaced. It's as simple as that. So that's why I
Okay.
said there are some parts of your task which are, so remember I said that 60-40. If you're 60-40, suddenly 80-20, where 80% of your job is automatable and 20% is only thinking, then you might as well improve your profile and make it more thinkable. Otherwise, that you are a prime candidate for being replaced. Now, same is in the consulting world. For example, today, there was a team in another consulting company who has the first level research wing, whose work is to just do Google searches and find out companies. Right? Now, today, that there was no thinking there. It was like find companies that do this. Right? So that was a classic 90-10 job. Right? So now the idea is what they were trained to do, now saying that, okay, now you cannot just keep searching companies for me. You have to go deeper and verify the AI research and give me a much stronger report. Right? So their expectations of capability is much higher. So think of it now, if you score 100 in Ranji Trophy, that's fine. But now when you're playing in the India cricket team, your expectations are higher, right? So that's the level. Now you're as a consultant also, we have clients who sit with ChatGPT open and ask us questions. Acha, ye bata, what will happen here? What will happen here? Right? So we have to keep ourselves one level above saying, okay, this is where it works. This is where it does not work. So everybody has to kind of beef up their profile, including consultants, right?
So we have a question from Dr. Prasenjit Dasgupta. He's asking
Yeah,
on that oh yeah, Prasenjit, go on.
thank you, Runa. Hi, Yon. This is Prashanjit. In fact, I am from the education sector. So, what I wanted to know, do you suggest some course for the MBA HR as electives in regard to AI? Where will be concentrating totally on AI, such sort of course, anything that you can suggest so that our students can be benefited?
Sir, so think of it this way. If corporates are thinking of upskilling their employees on AI, being an MBA institution, it's an absolute no-brainer that you should offer a subject on AI with respect to how AI can transform HR. It is exactly tied to Supriya's question and another person's question. Sorry, I'm blanking out on their name. Saying that what are the sorry, that was Shweta's question as well. What are the skills that we require, right, to get ready? And those should be tied to our program because now, essentially, especially in HR, right, the level of automation will be slightly higher, let's say, compared to manufacturing or finance. So, no, sorry, finance you might see a little higher, not as high as HR. But if you look at the level of automation, HR will be in the top three, right, with sales, marketing, as well as finance. So, we should, to answer your question, it's a no-brainer. You should. However, it should not be two things, please do not do. I can tell you that right up front. Do not make it a chat GPT class on how to use chat GPT. That's a waste of a student's time, right? Because that they already know how to use it. Number two, it should not be theoretical, it should be hands-on, right?
Absolutely.
And number three, in the program, they should be taught what AI fails at and what AI can do so that they get a balanced perspective, right? That is supremely important, sir.
Okay. Do you have any idea? Does any of the IIMs or any university like FMS or something they have started this sort of course in HR? Because in other streams we do have a course on AI. Particularly, I think in our financial management already we have introduced a course on AI. But as for the HR is concerned, because I am also not getting any trace from any other places.
So,
So
sir,
if you can kindly
what I would answer is, I mean, I'm not aware. I'm not. I mean, maybe Runa, you can come in if you have some ideas. But what I would answer is, sir, essentially, even if you don't need, you can fundamentally design your own program. Also, there's more than enough learnings from how corporates have done it, right? For you to implement your own, and it's an elective to start off with, right? So it's not. It's a low regret move offering an
That's
elective
right.
on AI, right? And again, bring in facilitators from outside who do these, and get people who have done it in corporates. Don't get
Yeah.
theoretical professors who are teaching AI in colleges. See, please
Yes.
understand that. Get folks who have done it in industry, who will be able to come and discuss and do those hands-on. That will really give a much stronger flavor to your students, sir. That would be my suggestion.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you
Thank
both.
you.
And certainly, Dr. Prasenjit, there are academic alignment, and I'll definitely connect with you,
Sure, sure. Thank you so much.
someday.
Thank you so much. Will
Okay,
be.
Dr. Prasenjit. I'll take up question of Saujanya. It's a very interesting question. You want to ask yourself, Saujanya, or shall I read it out on your behalf? Saujanya, are you there? Prasenjit, can you mute yourself?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. Saujanya, since you are probably on mute, so there's a question from your point of view and experience, which emerging AI trends should young professional focus on at an early stage to stay ahead?
So, okay.
So it's from student to young professional.
It's from a student perspective, right? Okay. First is,
I guess young professionals. That's what Saujanya is asking.
so sorry, my mistake, right? Young professionals, right? The way I would say this is AI trend. Now the broad AI trends, first number one is agentic AI, right? That's one you cannot miss. Now in agentic AI, as I had mentioned in my, I'll quickly recap. I think the second last slide was, number one is prompt engineering is a skill in agentic you need to know. Number two, what all in agentic can an AI do versus it cannot do, right? And third is understanding the workflow automation, right? Those are the trends right now. It is here and now that you need to be aware of, right? And essentially understanding how people are able to extract business value, right? The business value angle, it's not just theoretical, right? That business value angle is supremely important. Those would be the trends that I would focus on.
Wonderful. Emmy, you have a question?
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Runa. Thank you for this setting this up. Interesting conversation. Thanks, JJ. I have one question, because FOBO in itself is FOBO, right? So, do you believe FOBO will intensify in the future with information overload and, limitless digital options, and how we can build resilience against it?
Okay, first I'll start off with myself. I also have FOBO, right? So at
Yeah.
least I'll openly admit it, right? Now, what I use now, fundamentally, I use FOBO to drive myself, saying that I have to constantly learn something, right? Now the question, how do you build resilience? See, there is, as I said, it is essentially, think of yourself that when all of us, any of us decides to go on a weight loss, we go on a diet regimen, right? Similarly, what I personally do, and I work with a lot of business leaders, I say you have to make an AI learning regimen for yourself, all right? Essentially saying that from now until 2 years, every week, I will spend X time doing learning on this. And we are actually working on a solution for that as well, for business leaders, saying how do you progressively build resilience, right? So as I said, we are working on some concept of micro learning nuggets, because what we've done research is you cannot digest everything in a 2-day program, right? While you can digest in a 2-day program, resilience is built over time. So point is that there has to be a learning regimen where resilience has to be built. And number two, we'll have to keep our ears open for those mega trends that show up every 5 years, right? Like, for example, right now, agentic AI, right? I mean, people, the jury's out there on whether it will work, whether it will not work. But I can tell you for sure it will work, right? But only thing, it will fail a lot. People will learn how to solve it, but it is here to stay. So building resilience is done through a regimented learning methodology or a lifestyle that we put together. That's number one. And keeping our ears plugged in for that mega trends, right? So that's through conferences, podcasts, and that's the only way to tackle it. But FOBO is real. And to answer one of your questions, is it going to increase? it is the trend, right? So we have to learn how to deal with it, whether we like it or we not incorporate. That's the trend we'll have to learn how to deal with. But again, peacefully, as I said, right?
Sure. So I think
I
that's healthy. It's more of experimenting every day. Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
Amy. I have a last questions. We have 3 minutes to go from Vaishali Shilwa. She said, I want to understand how AI can help new age startups in the HR business function in situations where there are no significant investments in AI, but the management want some of or the other implementation using AI. Are there any cost-effective AI options available in the market out there?
So specific, okay, if I understood the question correctly, there is AI for startups, specifically from an HR perspective, right? There are startups who are doing HR solutions using AI for companies, right? Now, you can explore a lot of them. Now, the question is, it's not, see, the fundamental problem is how do you select the right tool, right? How do you know what a tool can do, cannot do? So, there, essentially, first, you will have to spend time understanding that, look, what can an AI do? What can an AI not do? Because otherwise, you'll end up selecting the wrong tool. Because I I have seen my clients getting pitched thousands of tools and they essentially don't know, and I mean, it's an investment, right? It's like I mean, I wouldn't say a marriage, but I mean, it's not like you're building SAP, but it's a small marriage, right? Where, I mean, you're at least stuck in it for 2 years. So those, first, it's important that you you're able to be able to first understand how to select a tool. There are a lot of platforms out there. You know, it'll help you. If you want, you can send us an email. What is specifically you're looking for, we'll try and answer that as well, right? So that, I mean, we can work around that. But to answer first, you should know how to select the right tool.
Perfect. Anand, do you want to ask a question, or because we are just approaching the end of session, and before that, I would like to thank Srini, Ravi, Amy, Shweta, Vaishali, Supriya, Saujanya, Dr. Prasenjit for asking very, very pertinent questions. Thank you for that. Yeah, Anand, would you like to go ahead? Okay, it must be just a hello.
Hi,
So we,
exactly.
that's a good one. So thank you so much, Dr. Jonathan Joshi. As you all know, he's the founder of EduvanceAI. And thank you, Pratham, conversation. We have streamed on various social channels, and there had been extremely encouraging comments from DB and many other, and also each one of you for sharing your email ID, because we are absolutely clear on our head that we want to remove FOBO very soon, and with help of experts like JJ, and that's our intent. So we would have series of conversation. Do join us in the next one with next perspective. Many of them we will take up from your questions. Be rest assured, because they were such topics in itself. So I will never forget what JJ's father taught him. Don't try to learn swimming from a television now, or maybe from computer. I'm sure that's a good one, and it will remain in my own perspective. And definitely learning by doing, as you rightly mentioned, right from the education sector to young professionals to all the senior folks who has joined us here, and many people who resonate as my ex colleagues and my peer group. I think we all will come back to you, JJ, for your great sessions. So very soon, we would like to share with the participant. We would have a public program for you to, join for certification, which at a higher level, which may, help you to augment your resume, because there are a lot of questions around job description to resume to candidature. So we intend to come with some of the programs which will help you to actually get that certification to professional journey. So I would like to thank you all, and we absolutely end this event and session on time. Any closing comment from JJ before we close?
Thank you everyone for taking time out. Keep the learning regiment on and have a great weekend.
Okay,
Thank you,
Thank
Runa.
can we also share the QR code for the
you so
feedback,
much.
please?
Yeah, please do that. So I encourage each one of you to scan and share QR code. And your feedback is extremely important to build it up. And as I mentioned, we would eradicate FOBO soon from the, if not India, I'm not claiming globe. Thank you so much. We'll stay put for some time till you download and exit from the session.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
And
you, Runa.
also there is a link. Thank you so much. Thank you, dear. So it's also on the chat, just in case if anyone has missed out scanning, you can download the link and do that. Thank you, Ranjit.